There's usually no wrong or right strategy. One strategy might work today, it might not work tomorrow because the consumers are ever evolving and changing. And so our landscape is very fast and things move real quick. At the heart of anything marketing is having the right information and data to take that informed decision on what to do around your brand. And that's in the marketing space what we'll call insight. So you have to have an intentional plan first to have the proper insights. Once you get the right insights, then you also need to know, first the targeting. So you know who your consumer is, who exactly you want to talk to, who you want to pitch this brand to, and then you have the data around, the insights around their behavior, their interest line, what can inform, what kind of awareness is appealing to them, where you place that awareness in terms of the channels, what to say, how to say it, tone. Once you get that right, targeting is right, and then the next thing is engagement. And this is where it can be a number of things. But because you have the proper insights and data, you are able to identify what works with what target audience. Traditionally, people would the go-to is always your demography. So my target is this age, this gender, lives here and there. But then again, today that is not totally true in marketing because it's only going to work halfway. If I asked in this room now that, tell me about a 75 above year old white Caucasian who is rich, who is famous, who drives a Rolls Royce, blah, 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 you would say, okay, Prince Charles fits that bill. But then again, Prince Charles is royalty, but who also fits that bill? Ozzy Osbourne, a rock artist, also fits that demographic, but they are not the same people. And that's where psychography comes in. Understanding in depth what their interests, all of that space. So once you are able to clearly define that, then you now look at, based on the information you have in the insight, you are able to craft that messaging that's going to appeal to that target audience. Just to quickly touch on one of the brands I've worked in the past, that was my first foray into alcohol. By the way, I was in alcohol for 12 years before I moved into core FMCG. So I was working on a bitters brand. Okay. And at the point when I got into the business, I moved from sales, and it was a real struggle then. It was really difficult to move from sales to marketing in that particular organization because it was moving about three steps ahead. And so when I got the job, one of the things, somebody that was like my person inside was that, when you get it, these three brands, they are the brands that destroy brand managers' careers in this business. Don't let them give you these three brands. And I said, okay, thank you, ma. And then by the time they did the reshuffling, they gave me the three brands. Not one, not two. They gave me three of them. And so I had this bitters brand that wasn't doing very well. We had great hopes and, aspiration for it, but it was failing. And so one of the things I did was I went back to data. And when I went back to data, we found out that one of the biggest insights for switching was that, one of the biggest driver of conversion and trial was switching. So people would switch from one brand to the other based on word of mouth. And that was because we found out that men, traditionally in Nigeria, do not like to talk about erectile dysfunction. Once they have that problem, it's a secret. They won't go for medical help. they resort to self-help. And because of that, somebody sits beside you and says, oh, you know what? I tried this brand. Man, I had a wonderful time yesterday. And the guy says, He doesn't tell the guy has a problem. The next thing is he goes to the shop and he says, do you have this thing? Because he wants to try it, right? And so once we got that insight, the next thing for us was, this was the target audience. How do we reach the target audience? And this is where I talk about looking at the channels and the messaging and crafting. And then at that time, what we decided that we needed to do a message that we could put on a mass channel. And at that time, there was this radio station called Wazobia. It's still in existence. There were two very good, funny chaps on radio then. I don't know if people remember way back then. It was Diplomatic OPJ and Tweetwee. Yeah. And they had this program on Wazobia, and we discovered that when their belt came on, every bus, every mall, every open space, public space was tuned to Wazobia. Because OPJ brought a lot of innovative things into radio at that time. So we decided that, yes, this was the channel to carry our message because it was mass. And then it now got to the messaging. How do we talk about this problem to a mass audience without being vulgar or even getting sanctioned from NBC? And so we decided that, look, if we as a brand are saying this, it might not be effective. Why not get Nigerians to tell Nigerians that this brand works? And so we had a program called X Time with X Bitters on radio. And it was an open slot where Diplomat opened the lines and people called in and they were talking about their time with this brand. And what then happened was, again, we had another insight about Nigerians are very expressive people. So if you give them the audience to talk, man, you have to control them. Yeah. If not, you might, yeah. So it was perfect for them. So we had people calling in and they were just giving testimonials. Wow. Testimonials upon testimonials. And I'm running out of time, right? And there was this little thing we did then. There was a particular music at that time that was the rave of the whole country, because we also thought about it. How do we drive traffic to this program? And then what we did was that about 2-3 minutes before the program comes on, or 5 minutes, we'll start playing this music back to back. And then people listened, queued into the music, started singing, and then we ushered in the program. So end to end, we tied everything. And this particular Bitters brand moved from about 20,000-30,000 cases a year. Today is doing about 8 million cases every year.